So one reason I like indie games is that sometimes you will get genres that clash together and people are seeing if they work well, and that's basically what happens with Infinite Guitars. This game came out in March 30th, 2023 by Nico Nico and published by Humble Games. I couldn't find much on the developer, so I don't know if it was a single developer or a team, but this game is categorized as a rhythm RPG game. Has a pretty basic plot where you're on this deserted world and looking for an infinite core, and the robots around there are starting to wake up by the power of the core. And you play as a main character, JJ, but you do get some more party members. And this character is unique in the sense that it's a kid that just kind of wants to play guitar, doesn't want to really be a hero, and kind of starts taking on that role. So the big draw when I saw a trailer of this game was the mashup of genre. Like I said at the beginning, that's a highlight of indie games that I like to experiment with, and the graphics. The artwork here looks pretty good. I enjoy the character looks. The overworld looks simple and enjoyable. The cutscenes are great, and just had a great time looking at all of the visuals. This was a big highlight here for that. The story was enough for you to kind of keep interest in it. I wouldn't say it was like groundbreaking or anything, but they did a very good job of doing something in the plot that made you want to keep playing. So like at first you're traveling around with Miguel, and then you get a conflict where you're seeing some stuff from the past and you're trying to figure out the backstory, and it was enough to kind of keep me interested in the story still. I was like, oh, what happened in the past? I'm kind of curious. The soundtrack is another highlight. The songs are really good. It does have a minimal category of amount of songs they have, but I didn't get overly tired of them. And for this game, I thought it was pretty well done, counting as an indie title, to have this good of a soundtrack. Combat in this game is a weird cross of action-adventure and rhythm game in a turn-based format where your traditional RPG. So you have two phases: the enemy's attacking or you're attacking. When the enemy attacks, you enter this kind of like a little dodging minigame. Crosshairs will show up and you have to move out the way. Your attacks are all rhythm-based, so you either have to hold a button and let go when it's near the perfect bar. Think of like the old school football field goals or golf games. Or you have a rhythm game like Guitar Hero to do the move. This was okay, but it made battles go pretty long. Like 2 rounds was kind of the average I got fighting ads. Bosses, obviously you had more rounds, but to do 2 rounds took a little bit of time because of this, because you basically had 2 little mini games in there. The biggest issue I had with this whole game is it just needed some more polish. That's the best way I could describe the problems here. And I think with a couple updates and fixing this, if they give more funding to this, I think would do the game really well. Again, I did say the battles take a long time. It would be nice to have a speed up for normal ads or less encounters. There was a point where I would see an encounter coming up because they're walking around the overworld and you can try to hit them to attack first. But when you see them walking around, I'm like, I kind of want to dodge it because I don't want to do a 2-round fight. That's just going to take some time. The dodging section got repetitive. You fight many ads that did the same pattern and you kind of got used to it. The biggest problem I had with the dodging game, even though I got the hang of it, it's not really clear, especially the 2D format. When it first came on, I had the crosshair and I got hit and I was like, okay, don't let the crosshair get you. But then it passed me one time, didn't hit. So I think the attacks were kind of going with the music from what I could tell. But there was not much time to react to the thing. So sometimes your view to attack would just come from the side of the screen and it's not much real estate and it would just hit you. So you just got used to timing it with the music. And once you figured that out, it was good. But the first, there was just no indication of it. It just seemed random. And the attacks do hurt. I was playing on normal. And if you got hit, you probably can only take 2 or 3 hits at times. But if they had a better system or better UI to indicate this or give a better explanation, I think it would have made it a more pleasant transition where it was more, I felt like it was my fault other than the game. The menus were sometimes not clear and just kind of simple. I felt like that was kind of the last thing that was worked on here. The track bar seemed last minute. It has 3 buttons and it has 3 tracks for the rhythm section, but it's kind of bland. I kind of wish they would color code each track for the button, and that would help me distinguish it. You had A, X, Y if you played on controller. Holding X, Y was awkward to me, but sometimes I just couldn't get it clear, so I did wish they would add some color. Literally, you have text that says hold or mash. It would be cool to have another indication, maybe keep the text too, but make it a little more fancier. It just was kind of bland to me. I will say the positive was it did keep commands at the bottom of the screen at pretty much all times to tell you how to play, especially the overworld, which I did find that was a nice touch. I wish they kind of took care in other sections. There's also just weird bugs in the menus. For example, if you leave the title screen on long enough, the music just stops like in 20 seconds. I thought the game froze. And then you have like start on there 3 times, so it's like weird on that. Sometimes you'll interact with the menu and you feel like you hit the button and nothing happened. I know sometimes when I was in the dodging thing, I couldn't move left or right until I hit the stick back and forth a couple times, and then it registered I was in that state. So there's some bugs there. I didn't experience a lot of the soft locks like people were talking about on Steam. I did play on the Xbox, so maybe the PC has more bugs. The other negative, it does take from old school RPG games, the force explore. You'll just be playing and you don't know where to go for the next part of the story, and you have to kind of walk around lost until you get to a section that looks like you're supposed to be there and start from there. This is personal pet peeve. I'm not a fan of that. I think we kind of moved past that era of gaming. Best example for me is how Like a Dragon Inshin does it. For example, I know where the main story is, but they give me option to explore at the time, so I can do my own exploring at my own time instead of being forced to do the exploring. But that's my negative on that. I know that's more touchy. But overall, I did play this on Game Pass for Xbox, and I would say this is a perfect fit for this game. I would recommend this game on a discount as well. I don't know if I would say go out to get it for $20 until there's a lot more updates on the game to fix the polishing and fix some of the pace of the game. If you do like RPGs and like Guitar Hero and stuff like that, I would always say check this out. I think it was an interesting concept to try, especially at Game Pass. Just download it, try it out, no harm done. The graphics and sound was my biggest pluses. The mashup was middle of the road. It was okay. I felt like there's some improvements there, but I thought it was a very good first attempt, but I wasn't overly thrilled about this combination. The lengthy battles will bog you down, and the polishing of the menus and stuff like that was the negatives of me. So I would say kind of a middle of the road rating, like 5 out of 10 for this game. I wasn't upset that I played it. I wasn't overly happy that I played it. I did feel like it was an average experience, and I would recommend this at a discount, or if you have Game Pass, definitely check it out. Thank you for listening. Peace.